Hi, welcome to Wild Wednesday. Today we are going to set up an experiment where we can look at the water cycle in a bag. Now I bet the water cycle has been on everybody's mind because we have had how many days of rain in a row? And it's because of the water cycle that we are having all this precipitation. All you need to do this experiment at home is a Ziploc bag, permanent marker, and water. Does not have to be colored, but I personally like lots of color in my life, so I use blue food coloring. What I'm going to do is I am going to draw the picture on the bag on the whiteboard, so you can either follow along at home or look at it later to set up your own bag. Now, the water cycle. The water cycle means something that happens over and over and over again, just like the rain we've been having every day. And what is the first thing that we need on this planet to set up our water cycle? What is the whole reason we have life on the planet? Well, that would be the sun. So I am going to put my sun up in the corner because without the sun heating the surface of the earth, there is no water cycle. Down at the bottom of my bag, I've got some land, and you can put some plants on it if you want. You know, when you're at home alone, you can decorate this as much as you want. Plus, we have our bodies of water, whether it's a stream, a puddle, the lake, the Trinity River, or the ocean. So there's our land. Now, here we have our atmosphere. What happens when the sun comes out on a really warm day? What happens to the water, whether it's in the land, because you know if you're walking outside, it's very spongy. The land is just saturated. We have a process where the water is turning from a liquid into the gas, which is the water vapor phase. That is called evaporation, and I'm not good at writing. From the heat of the sun. So you have your water as a liquid turning into a gas. Now in our atmosphere, as the gases rise up higher and higher, the temperature goes down. Ultimately what happens is water cannot stay as a gas any longer. So it turns back into tiny little droplets of liquid water. And what we get, we have a process of condensation, which allows the clouds to form. So we have first evaporation, condensation. Now you guys know that we don't have rain every single time we have clouds in the sky. As long as those droplets are tiny, they can stay suspended up in the atmosphere. But as the water droplets get larger and larger, because of gravity, they eventually fall out of the sky, back down to earth, and what is that called? Rain, for one we've had a lot, but it is precipitation. So I'm going to make my water droplets look like this. But you know there's other kinds of precipitation. If it was winter, you could have snow. If it was really freezing, you could have sleet. Or when we get those big thunderstorms, sometimes you get the hail. So our water is falling back down to the earth, and what happens to it? Some of it lands right in our waterways, some of it lands on the ground, and eventually we'll make it through our watersheds, make it back into our bodies of water. And the sun is out, the water heats up, goes from a liquid to a gas as water vapor, up into the sky, the clouds form, the droplets get too big, and falls to the ground again as precipitation. Now you can make your cycle as decorative as you want. You can use different colors. This is something you can do at home. I made up a bag for you guys, just like this. And I only put rain on there, but usually if I have extra time, I like to put on all the forms of precipitation just for fun. Now, I did make up some water that has some blue food coloring in, and I'm just going to put a little bit in the bottom of the bag. Ooh, and guess what? I did not spill it yet, so I did a good job. And see, there's my water. Now, one of the last things we'll do is we're going to go tape this into one of our windows, because that way the sun will warm up our water. And have you guys ever taken a shower where you have really hot water? You get out and you notice that the mirror is covered, you can't see anything, there's a lot of water droplets. Well, eventually what you'll see when you put this in a sunny window is the water will evaporate, and you'll see that fog on your bag. That's your condensation. Those are your clouds. And as the water droplets get bigger and bigger, you'll see them suddenly start falling back into your reservoir of water in the bottom of your bag. Kind of like if you had cold drink on a hot day and you see that your glass gets really wet on the outside with all of the water running down. That's the water cycle. It is so many places where we look. So now we are going to go walk over to one of our windows. I have my tape. We're going to go tape it in a window, and we're going to see what happens over time. See how much fun that is? I want you to comment on whether you make it. Maybe you can take a picture and send it to us in your comments. And I really want to thank you for joining us for our simple science experiment to look at the water cycle. And I hope to see you again next time.